Welcome to Breaking the Chain. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Cody.
And we got a little bit to talk about today. Like we have our ProQuest. We've got the overall ProQuest experience and like the week 2 results. Got a little bit of like some cool things to talk about what LSS is doing this week for like their 6th birthday and some of the articles that came out. But
And a sneak peek.
Other than that, yeah, a little sneak peek. But other than that, how was your week in Flesh and Blood?
It was pretty good. I got to play in one of the 2 PQs this past weekend. I played on Sunday. I brought my girl Dio, and I made top 8, which is pretty cool. I'll go into the more detail about that later. Sounds like you got a similar week in Flesh and Blood, though.
Yeah, I brought Valda, and I brought her to do a top 8 on Saturday, so that was really cool. I was really happy with myself because like I felt like I had something to prove because I'm like, this is the best Guardian that I've played at least for a while now, and I feel like I have something to prove to make sure I can play the game when I really want to. So I was really happy that I made it, and I posted the list online. So if you really want to see, it should be like the last video posted a couple days ago. So
yep, right. Our most recent video outside of this one. So yes. Yeah, feel free to check that out on our YouTube channel. If you're listening on Spotify, it'll be on our YouTube channel specifically. Unless I don't think you posted it to Spotify, did you?
I did not post to Spotify.
All right.
I do go through and like open up the cards. At least I try. Sometimes I rant without opening up the card, but
yeah, I mean you can post a video on Spotify, but it's not like the most listened to or the most useful thing to post a deck tech on there. So on our YouTube channel. But yeah, did you do anything else in Flesh and Blood? Did you go to any armories as well?
Yes, I did go to a couple armories, but I wouldn't say it's anything like crazy out of the ordinary. I went 2-2 at the armory. I'm just trying to figure out Verdance now because the deck is completely different than what I was testing against, and it feels like recently they've been shifting less towards combo and more towards just straight value.
Yep.
And both games were like literally this close. One game I had pitch stacked this super crazy like combo on my side, and they had anti-pitch stack a scour. So so it was really cool. And then the other game, they killed me with their last arcane damage in deck.
Dang. Yeah,
crazy.
It's interesting because with the moving away from combo, you probably have a much better chance in Verdance now.
But the problem is, no, it's so much harder because they play Millennium Tree and throw 9 arcane, and you just kind of look there and go, okay, -6 life at least.
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
And they do that 6 times per game. So it's like you start the game off with 6 times 6 is 30. You start with 4 life, and so that's pretty tough.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty bad.
And you have to like find your outs to like, and I run sigil, so like I gain a little bit of life. So
I was about to say 13. You could try to fatigue them and run health gain, like sigil. You can run the suspense aura for Pleiades that heals 3, things like that.
And that's kind of the way I'm turning to, but it's still hard because if they go like E-Strike felling, like normally it's like, okay, I'll block 3, maybe 5 on E-Strike based on my health, and then they're like felling and they take your cards from hand, and it's like,
yeah. I mean, they could probably like even pitch stack, just some really go wide stuff like scar for a scar, E-Strike felling type things. Although maybe
and
they're
they don't run scar for a scar against Valda, but they'll do like E-Strike into Everbloom Life into felling into staff for 2. So it's just like blowing you up there.
They'll need an extra card for that, right?
Do they?
Yeah.
Because E-Strike,
that's 2 cards. Felling is 2 cards. Spell plus Swaying Moon is 2 cards.
Yeah, you're right. But they do something where they give go again or like arcane damage and felling,
go over the
top, that gets really tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that because if Millennium Tree is effectively dealing 36 true damage over the course of a game, and you only have 3 sigils, so you're basically at 13 They only need to find 13 damage to kill you.
And I mean, that might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but even then, it is like Millennium Tree Staff 5, and that's 3 or that's 2 damage I can't block. So I'm thinking about putting Arcanite Skullcap. I actually have it pulled off.
I've heard people are starting to run Arcanite Skullcap as tech for that.
Yeah,
which is interesting. I like it. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and especially when I'm running so many blues, there's going to be at least a few of them that I'm like, oh, 9. It's like, I can actually block 6.
Yep.
Stop that there. But yeah.
I mean, you could probably just fatigue them then at that point. If you just stay below their health and you get to block 6 on those turns.
That's kind of what I want to start testing into is like the fatigue there. But other than that, like all the other matchups, I feel so good on Valda. Like, I want to say Valda, Verdance was the only deck that I like lost to in the Armories and the PQ. In the PQ, I lost to Verdance and Levia.
Yeah, Levia's probably a tough one for you.
Especially when it's
Mo on Levia.
Yeah, that was Well, and he was smart enough to take all the draw discard stuff out except for Blood Rush Bellow. So it's like Blood Rush Bellow didn't feel like too bad. I don't think he got insanely lucky on his Blood Rush turns either.
Well, here, before we go any further, why not just go straight into your PQ experience?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry. Yeah, but straight into my PQ. I made it to top 8. Very exciting. And in Swiss, I lost to Levia and Verdance. Again, the Verdance, it was switched to a more tempo game. I was not really prepared for it, and they ended up taking me down. I don't think that was a very close game because I was just not ready. I was like ready for the combo game. I went on and I went to try and like put down their rampant growth lives and, play that kind of game and put their combo off, but they weren't putting out a combo. So it ended up not very close because they were just like, okay, like, sure, you put some on the bottom of my deck, like felling, whatever spell, or like this. And they were just playing tempo. And I kind of fell down that game. And that's when I'm like, okay, Verdances are switching it up. I got to figure some things out. But whatever. And I lost to Mo Bogsley on Levia. And that was another crazy game. I want to say it probably felt closer than it was because I think at the end we were both like single digits, or at least he was like, I had turned off his flip. I've dealt enough damage to turn off his flip so he couldn't flip on me. But then he just kept throwing damage and I was down to like 2-3 life or something. And I was like just blocking out each turn, hoping that he drew bad. And he ended up getting me. And we get into top 8 and the exact same thing happened. Levia.
So you played Levia in top 8 or Verdance in top 8?
Levia in top 8.
Okay, Levia. I thought you played Verdance top 8. My bad.
Oh, no. Yeah, I played Levia Swiss and then Levia top 8. And it was a very similar story. And what's so hard about Levia is that she doesn't do the draw discard as much, but still pumps out a lot of damage. So it's like, okay, she does her Blood Rush Bellow, but she's going to do a lot of damage. And you can't just keep your hand to respond with that because you're never going to catch up if you eat their Blood Rush Bellow, especially on Levia. Because normally the minimum target for a Blood Rush Bellow on Levia is 18 damage.
Yeah.
And outside of that, she has just so much natural go again that isn't draw discard. It's like, oh, it's Dread Screamer, 6 go again. Then in the first game, Mo Bogsley did it's the new go again card.
It's like Shadow Realm Horror, is that what it is?
Yeah. He did a Shadow Realm Horror loop where he played Shadow Realm Horror, banishing 3 6s, banishing Shadow Realm Horror, playing Shadow Realm Horror, banishing 3 6s, banishing Shadow Realm Horror, playing Shadow Realm Horror, banishing 2 6s, including Shadow Realm Horror. Luckily enough, it was. But he threw like 3 of them at me. I was like, oh no, this is going really poorly.
Yeah, he was actually telling me not about that specific like play against you, but just the fact that you could do that play in Levia. On Sunday, I was talking to him about Levia, and he told me about that line.
He did it against me in the first game, and I was like, I've never actually seen it happen. I knew it was possible, but I was like, this is really cool. Like, this is really cool. I'm down like 18 life because he responded with like a 1 for 7 afterwards, and I was like, Okay.
Wait, so
Like,
it was
this is
3
bad.
Shadow Realms into another attack?
Somewhat crazy like that.
So that's 7. Yeah, so it's 4 times 7, so 21 damage off of
Yeah.
a couple cards. Probably a whole hand, I guess, but 4 cards.
Yeah, probably a whole hand, but still, like, going from what I assume you think is like, oh, like 7 go again into like maybe 1 for 7 in hand, like, oh, crazy loop potential and smack you at the end. It was a cool turn. It was really cool. It did not
It
go
doesn't
well.
sound like you had a really cool time.
Yeah, but no, like it was fun to watch, but it definitely did not help me in that matchup. And then he didn't do that loop again, but in the top 8, he did just smack me a lot and bring me down.
So what else did you play in Swiss though? So I've only heard Levia and Verdance.
So in Swiss, I ended up playing first round. I have it all written down, but I know I played a Fang, and I have that in my mind because like I beat the Fang, which I know is like a deck that I think Fang's very favorite in Nivalda, but I was very impressed that like I knew that at least like my deck was drawing well, one, but it felt good that I knew how to play with what my deck gave me, because even then I think it's going to be a tight matchup. So I beat Fang, I beat a Kasai, I beat oh
Because I seems like a
one
tough
sec.
matchup for you too.
No, Kasai is really easy.
Oh really?
Kasai's it like she does like she draws swords, and if they don't like she just
They
draws
draw a
so
lot of
much.
cards.
So like
That's
Organium
right.
Tone, yeah,
I forgot
they
about
draw
that part.
so
Yeah.
much. And even then, the person I was playing Kasai took out all their draw swords and all their draw cards, and their deck's just so much slower. And all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I'll just beat you down regularly. Like the
Yeah.
deck kind of like turns off. So that's where I want to like. Kasai ends up being easy because if they sideboard out all their draw cards, they're just way too slow to beat me. And if they don't sideboard out all their draw cards, I just
How many
draw, or they draw, and I
how many D reacts are you on?
get them. 3.
Like 3 total?
Yeah. No, well, no. There's 5, 6.
6?
I forget the blue is a defense reaction as well. So I'm on
Okay.
6 total.
6
But
D
I have
reacts.
block cards as well. So I have like
Yeah.
6 and
What
the
block card do you
0
run?
for 5 sometimes. The Crash and Bash.
Oh, duh. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She's actually one of the few heroes I want to run the defense reactions into. Like normally I side out my sinks. I don't bring them in unless it's like really warrior or assassin. Otherwise the sink blows aren't there.
What about
Crash and
Guardian?
Bash makes. I don't even. No, I don't bring those in for Guardian either. Maybe
No.
if it was a Valdemir, I might think about it, because like a sink below against a Valda, if you can stop a crush effect, is insane. But against Jarl and Victor, I just don't bring them. There's just,
Fair enough.
I just feel like they're too slow into the Guardian when it's like a tempo based matchup.
Yeah. Okay, so Fang, Kasai, Levia, Verdance. You're missing one.
I played Arachne.
Oh, that's right. You said
Marionette.
Arachne.
Or not Marionette, Arachne Huntsman.
Huntsman.
Which
Oh,
was really cool.
yeah.
Really fun game. Their very first banish hit my ley line. So that was
Ooh.
and like good news, they played Hunter and Hunted and banished my ley line. So it's like you're only getting 1 silver, but bad news, they hit my ley line. So I'm like, my value is immediately decreased.
Yeah, that's a pretty rough hit off the bat. Although they could probably stuff. Well, no, never mind. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good hit for him.
Yeah, and that's what like I was talking to. I think it was. But no, I was talking about it to a few people that play Arachne, and they're all like, "Well, like you don't get the silver, which isn't what you want." I'm like, "Yeah, but you like decrease my overall damage by probably a lot, and you also like keep me from dominating like 3-4 times in the game." So I don't know. I think it was a pretty good banish, but
Yeah, I think it's
apparently
worth
they don't
2
think so.
silver to kill Leyline.
Yeah.
I would say it's
Yeah.
worth 2 silver.
But like this, like I have the health totals here. Like
Oh yeah.
so much healing, so much prevention. It's like
Oh, were they
it
on
was
like sirens calls and stuff? Because
they
what's
weren't
the
on
healing?
Siren's Call, but like I think
Oh,
they had Oasis Respite, they had I think they had sigils. Maybe but it was just all like I'm like, okay, I'm beating them down. I'm feeling really good. And they healed up a bunch. I'm like, okay, well, let's try this. And it ended up going to fatigue, and I won the fatigue match. And it was because like I would throw the 6 for 10. They would have to block out with like 4 cards.
yep.
And it was
Just have
like
so
it
much
was
deck damage.
crazy. Yeah.
It's probably pretty tough to fatigue you unless they're constantly banishing.
I think it's also somewhere I have a lot of practice into like fatigue. Like when Aiden used to be on Decimator Dory,
Oh
I think that was some of the most valuable practice I've ever had in Flesh and Blood because it's like a weird way of fatigue, but it's definitely something that every deck can try and aim for. So just getting that practice on Decimator Dory really taught me how to play around that. And if Arachne feels very similar to that, but with like more disruption and extra fatigue, so it's a
Right.
lot tighter. But it's like I was able to like, okay, like I know how to play this game style. Like the 6 for 10s are insane. They're really strong and they're gonna give me all the like extra value. So it was a very good game. It was very tight, but it again, like I just think I have a lot of knowledge into fatigue, and especially playing Guardian, I understand fatigue. So I think that definitely helped me out in that situation. And then I played also against a Vincent, which it was really interesting because neither of our decks wanted to work.
Mhm.
But the thing about like neither of our decks wanting to work out is when my deck doesn't work out, I can just block. When Vincent's deck doesn't work out, she dies.
Yep.
So I got there in the end.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make sure I haven't missed anyone.
I mean, that would make 6 rounds for Swiss.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, then I would be right. And so that was my Swiss. And again, I lost in top 8 to the Vi again.
So
But
was
yeah,
it,
it was
when did you play Mo in Swiss? Was it literally round 6 you played against Mo and then round 1 you played against Mo?
well, no, it was round 3
Okay.
that I played against him, and then it was first round of top 8 that I played against him.
I see. Yeah, he because he ended up going undefeated in Swiss, right? So he was
Yeah.
first seed, and then I think he lost in semis, if I remember correctly, or finals.
That sounds
Semis or finals?
Yeah, he lost in semis against Bill on Acilio.
Yeah. Apparently, Acilio just combo turn 2, and you know that.
Yeah.
What do you do against that? I will say though, like, unless you have anything more to say about your PQ experience, I'm kind of impressed with Levia's performance this past weekend. I mean, Mo
Yeah.
went undefeated in both PQs this past weekend in Swiss.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, lost in finals to an Acilio that combo turn 2, which I mean no deck can beat that really, and lost in the first round of top 8 to I think a Syndra that just blasted him on turn 2 also, and again not much you can do about that. So outside of like just kind of getting mogged by aggro decks or combo decks, Levi looked pretty good.
He made Levi look like the best deck in the room. Like
I was talking to him about it, and I was like, "Man, this deck seems interesting. Like, I might try to start learning Levi." Like that's like the way he was describing all the play lines and stuff. This and how many micro decisions there are. Like it just seemed like a fun deck to learn and perfect. Any chance you go back to your Levi roots?
It will debate it, but I think I'm so involved on Valda right now.
Yeah.
I've made some unhealthy decisions for my wallet after that PQ because I'm like,
Oh, no.
Valda is so sick. She's so cool.
Do tell. What are these decisions?
I bought the extended art. I bought the extended art Valda specs. Put them in their place. I was like, nice. I gotta
yeah.
I've got to commit. So.
Did you get like the Marvel Crush cards too? The gem.
I already have those.
We're 3 copies of each.
I don't have 3 copies of each, but I have my play set, which is 2 of each.
I see. Okay. Um, yeah, I've been speaking of blinging out decks. Dio keeps getting more bling, and it's so tough to resist. So actually, I'll get to that in for my PQ. But anything else you want to talk about your PQ before I dive into mine?
No, I'm ready to listen.
Okay. All right. So I played a PQ the following day. So long story short, I couldn't go to the same one that you went to on Saturday because someone had to be home to watch the new puppy because she likes to tear shoes. So someone has to be here and watching her. And my wife was working, so I couldn't go that one. But on Sunday she wasn't working, so I got to go play at MEH Games, and also made top 8. So round 1, I had to pull up my gem account to remind myself. Round 1, I played against Nick on Slippy, and I had actually played against Nick on Slippy in Wyoming the past weekend and lost to him. Also round 1 of the PQ, and so it's kind of funny getting that rematch, just round 1 of this PQ again. And and by the way, for this one there were 38 players, I think 39 players. So we had 6 rounds of Swiss as well. But anyway, round 1, Slippy. Trying to get my revenge. I think I lose the die roll, and long story short, I lose the game barely, and I think it comes down to one turn where I misblocked. So some background. In Wyoming, he had a turn where he played Ancestry Body or Ancestry Mind, the red one that when it hits you banish top card of the deck. If it's red, then you draw a card. So he started with that, and I was looking at my hand. This is Wyoming. I was looking at my hand, and I was like, well, these cards aren't that good. I kind of just want to save health and set up for like a max V turn because I was worried about getting fatigued. And so I blocked the first card. He goes Tarantula Toxin to -3. And I had a red card on top too, which is why I blocked as well. I think it was max V actually on top. And so I was like, okay, well, whatever. I can't. I guess he had Tarantula Toxin. It is what it is. And then he goes Pain in the Backside, and I was like, well, this yellow 0-60 isn't actually. Or no, actually, it was a red 0-60. It was a red 0-60. And I was like, I could throw this red 0-60 for 4, or I could block for effectively 4 because it's Pain in the Backside. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll block this card too, and just kind of like do a setup turn and pass. Block the second card. He goes Yellow Shred, and I was like, okay. And then I think he didn't have anything else in his hand. So his hand was like, or no, sorry, Yellow Shred was from Arsenal too. He had Yellow Shred in Arsenal. So if I just don't block that turn, he literally has to IP a card because he can't throw Dagger. He didn't have a pitch card in hand. He can't throw Dagger, and he can't play the Shred out of Arsenal. So by blocking there, I basically just like got destroyed. So then I went into this matchup with that turn in mind. So long story short, we get to this turn. He goes Red Orb Weaver Spinneret into the is it no, it's not. It's something of body. Anyway, whatever the card that you banished the red draw card, he throws that for 6 go again. And I'm like, I've learned my lesson. I'm not blocking this shit. Even though I had a max V on top, I was like, I ain't blocking this shit. Just no blocks. And so it hits. He banishes my max V, draws card. Then he throws Persuasive Prognosis, and I think he has 2 cards in hand. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. He did not start with Prognosis, so he either drew it off the top, off of Ancestry, or he has a +3 react that he wanted to do on either the first or second link. And that's what I was going with. And I was looking at his boots too, and I was like, I don't want him to go +3 react boots codex. And so I was like, okay, I want to block this. I don't want to just let it hit. I want to block this. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to play around him having 3 Tarantula Toxins and 3 Shreds in deck because I haven't seen any of them. I was like, I'm going to play around that instead of playing around just the deck because otherwise it seems weird for him to like take my damage and throw this Ancestry Body instead of just blocking 6 because of the way my turn worked. So I decide I have chest and arms and no other armor. I decide to block 5 on the Persuasive Prognosis. Sure enough, goes just the Nick, boots, what's it called? The one that deals, it's a dagger attack that deals 1 on hit. Anyway, and then throws another attack after. But I think I disconnected for you there for a second. But anyway, long story short, he does persuasive prognosis just to nick. Even though so I block 5, he just nicks to get 1 over. Banish the top card of my deck. It is a red, so then he gets to banish a red card from my hand, and then throws the dagger attack that deals 1 on hit after that. And I think I lose the game on that. When what I should have done instead is I should have just played around both. I should have blocked with my arms and one of the red 3 blocks in hand. And that's just what I should have done. And blocked 6 on it. And then I probably would have won the game from there. Because I barely lost the game. When I say when I barely lost the game, he kept a 2-card hand. And it was blue. Shoot, it's the one where if you react twice, he gets +2 and banishes 2 cards. I'm forgetting the name. Double Trouble, yeah. So he goes blue double. I remembered. Blue Double Trouble into just a nick flick to make it 9 damage, and I'm at 8 life, and I have 1 armor block. So even if I block with my armor, I die. But I had a full grip, and he killed me with 2 cards at 8 life. And I was like, oh, okay, well that's cool.
Yeah, that seems like a really tough matchup, especially for like Dash.io.
It's interesting. It doesn't feel like it should be a bad matchup anymore at post Bonds ban. Like it doesn't actually feel that bad. I feel like I'm just inexperienced in blocking against it. Like I said, I think if I just block with 1 card in arms on that persuasive prognosis, then I think I win the game. Pretty handily too. But because of that, because I basically threw away my armor and lost a card anyway, and he got go again from the boost, so then throw the Kiss of Death. I'm now remembering the name. To throw the Kiss of Death that I now didn't have the ability to block. It just kind of went bad from there. So yeah, so long story short, I kind of went into too much detail there. Lost round 1 against Slippy. Was feeling pretty bad because the past weekend I went 1-2 drop into 0-2 drop. And so I was like, oh my God, am I going to go 0-2 drop again? This is going to be rough. I might tell someone, I might quit Flush of Blood if I go 0-2 drop a 3rd time in a row at these PQs with my favorite deck that I feel good with. But anyway, 2nd round, I play against Verdance. I feel really good about this matchup. Just did the normal thing. 3rd round, I played against KO. No, sorry, that wasn't KO. 3rd round, I played against... Shoot, what was it? I'm blanking. I don't remember what it was. It was Vincent. I played against Vincent. And that was actually what I lost to in round 2 of the past weekend that I went 0-2 drop. So I was like, okay, rematch against Vincent. We're good. We both basically did these
going through the turns. Exact same week.
Yeah, exactly. It was actually that's basically one gap. I went Slippy, Verdance, and then Vincent. But long story short, played against Vincent. We both had some really strong turns, but I ended up getting there. And then I played against KO and got there. They basically bricked on a turn. They couldn't block very well, and their hand they just drew an all red hand, is what it was. And I was able to capitalize on that. And then what did I play against after that? I thought looking at the names, I would remember what they played, but it's just not helping me.
I thought the same thing, so I wrote down it all in my little journal just to help me remember. Just get to these pages, and that's all I played. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I wish I'd done that, but I just never write down the hero names in my life pad. But I played something round 5 and won, and then round 6 I played against Kasai, and for Kasai, I scrimmed with a teammate the night before, and I found that the matchup wasn't that bad for Dio, which is weird because when you think about it, you would think, okay, they have dynamos, they have a lot of armor, they should be able to fatigue Dio pretty well. But it turns out that to keep refreshing dynamos, they need at least 2 cards in hand, or to have 2 vigor tokens, or to have gold or something. So it's actually hard for them to keep dynamos up if you keep the pressure on, and so if you just attack them, they'll often just die. And I also just high roll. I think I played 3 max Vs in 4 or 5 turns that game. It was disgusting.
That's absolutely brutal.
It was so brutal. Yeah, so I got there. I think, you know what's funny? I think they did the same thing the game before. Oh, it was Fang. That's what it was. I played against Fang the game before. And I hedged against Fatigue and just absolutely blasted him with max Vs and stuff. So, when it ended up submarining, I went 1-5 in Swiss. And then top 8, I have to play the Diomir against my boy Luke. Anarchy Plays on YouTube if you haven't checked him out. Such a sad thing. And I was higher seas, so I chose to go first. And I was like, damn, why do we have to meet right now? Like we could have met anywhere else in top 8. I'd be happy, but meeting round like in the quarterfinals of top 8 just feels terrible, especially since we're both the Dios. And the top 8, by the way, was 2 Dash-IOs, 2 Syndras, a Leviah, a Marlin, a Kasai, and a Fang. So I'm feeling really good about this top 8. There's a Slippy. There's a Slippy somewhere. Maybe it was 1 Syndra and 1 Slippy. But anyway, the only matchup I'm worried about is Slippy, right? And the mirror, because the mirror can be kind of wonky. And so I was feeling really good. I got to top 8. I was like, okay, I'm getting my invite. This is sick. And so I play against Luke. I go first. I leak 4 damage because I determine with the way I get to throw T-Bone and determine with the way he's blocking, he has 2 items in hand. So I leak 4 damage and get to Arsenal and play some item off the top. It was something kind of inconsequential off the top. And then at the end of my turn, my turn 0, he plays a red Boomerang at the top with one of the items. And so he basically makes up for it already, which is kind of rough. And then long story short, the game ends up going where I have a max V turn where I have triple 0 to 60 in the max V. I throw the first 0 to 60. The top card is some random card. I throw the first 0 to 60, it's a random card. I throw the second 0 to 60, it's a Spark of Genius. I throw the third 0 to 60, it's a Spark of Genius. So I managed 2 Spark of Geniuses to do that max V turn. And then he proceeds to play 2 Spark of Geniuses into Cerebellums. I see 0 Cerebellums that game, and I lose. So I basically see 0 Sparks, 0 Cerebellums, and he sees, I think actually maybe I played all 3 Sparks on his side, and I end up losing by like 4 or 5 damage. So that was really unfortunate. Tough. That I had the seed to go first. I leaked damage turn 0, but then he got to play an item at the top, and then saw Sparks and I didn't, and that's basically how the game went. We both agreed that there was really nothing else to analyze that game. It was like he saw Sparks and I didn't. I never got to play Steel Cerebellum. I didn't get my extra card draw and all that kind of stuff. So unfortunately lost in top 8, but at least I lost in top 8 to Luke, who ended up getting to the finals and splitting to get his gold foil. So that was cool.
Yeah, it's cool. That's always like a cool run when someone like submarines all the way up. And like last week, the Kasai actually beat round 1, went undefeated all the way into finals.
That's awesome.
So it's like it's really cool to kind of like see all that kind of happen in these like PQs.
Yeah, that's the best feeling too. Whenever you submarine, when you're like, oh man, I lost my first round, I might not make it anymore, and then you just keep winning. It's a good feeling. But yeah, so some fun PQs this past weekend, and then I'm gonna play in up to 2 because I'm hoping to win the first one. I can't cross my fingers very well. I'm hoping. Yeah, there we go.
Cross one for you.
Hoping to win the first one on Saturday. They are both Living Legend PQs, and I have been flip-flopping decks for a bit, but I'm actually going to play Viserai is the final decision. And I'm actually borrowing Aiden's Viserai deck that he won the first weekend of PQ season with. He took down.
Looks really good.
Viserai's pretty strong. You know, you'd think that after the ban list he'd get worse, but you know what's funny is that I was testing with my team last night, and we played against, like, they were watching me play some games, and I would play against some people, and they'd play Warmongers, and we would just laugh. It was just like, I don't care. I was basically gonna say peace anyway. Like, my plan was only to play non-attack actions in the first place. So they'd play Warmongers and be like, okay, cool, that's sick. I don't mind at all. So Warmongers doesn't really affect Viserai much at all. Like, you might delay his combo turn, maybe, but a lot of times he's happy to just be like, yeah, peace, play more Rune Chance Pass. And so he's feeling really good. We found that I guess I shouldn't say too much about like what we're finding with him, but basically he's very strong. And
I wouldn't be surprised if he's best in LL right now.
Yeah, so far it seems like the best decks are Viserai, Starvo, Chain, and like maybe Dio, but Dio just kind of gets hurt by Warmongers too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff. I think that there's some potential dark horse decks in LL. But we'll get to that now. Unless you have anything else you want to say before we go into the PQ Week 2 results that were put out.
I'm ready for Week 2.
Yeah, so
I'm ready
CC.
to talk about these results.
Actually, we'll start with LL since we're already talking about LL.
Okay.
There were 8 total LL Pro Quests on Week 2. Viserai won 2 of them, and then all the rest of these heroes won 1. Starvo, Briar, Aurora. Why am I blanking the name? Is it Aurora? I'm brain farting. Okay, Aurora. I don't know why I was thinking that, like, I was brain farting that. Aurora, Dash.io, Kano, and Chain. And that's, like, everything except for Briar and Aurora seems pretty accurate to me. Briar has felt kind of weak, and Aurora seems like it's basically doing Briar things, so the same thing. And so I'm surprised to see those two get wins, but the rest of them, yeah, that seems like our Living Legend meta so far.
I don't know much about LL, but like I think it's weird. Like I guess this goes a little more into the formatting, but it's like but I don't know much about LL. It looks healthier than what I hear it feels like with this little pie chart. But there were also like only 8 LL Pro Quests.
Not a lot to work off of, yeah.
Not a lot to work off of.
Side note, LSS decided to start doing percentages for these pie charts instead of number of wins. And I think it's because there were only 8 LLPQs that they decided to do percentages to make it look a little bit better. Even though like it's very easy just to be like, oh yeah, we're looking at these percentages. It's 8 PQs. Like,
yeah,
it's either 8 or 16, and we know it's just gonna be 8. So
yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. It's weird because it feels like they're trying to like obscure some of the knowledge, but they have I would say a very smart fan base. So you do this and you post it, and we're all like,
you can see how many LL points everybody got, and just go from there. And it's like it just adds an extra step to figure it out. But we can figure it out regardless. But
yeah.
Anyway,
like, so there were 8. Okay.
Right. So yes, that was a Living Legend breakdown, and then for Classic Constructed, it's actually pretty spicy. First and second, I'm gonna go percentages here because I actually don't know the real numbers, but from what I understand, the number of wins is pretty close to the percentage. So, for example, Verdance.
Well, I think.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I've heard Verdance won like 30 to 31.
Yeah, I think that's right actually.
And now, yeah.
So
like 30 to 31.
Verdance was 21% of the pie chart, and apparently that's 30-ish wins. And then Syndra took 19% of the pie chart, which is going to be around that same amount. It's going to be like 28, 20, like 29.
20. Yeah.
And then it's a huge drop off from there. KO, OG KO won 7%. Which
I think is around 10 wins.
Yeah. So it's like 30 for Verdance, 30 for Syndra, and then drops way down to 10 for KO.
10, yeah.
10 for KO, 10 for Gravy, 10 for Acilio.
10 for Acilio.
And then a little bit less because like Dash.io is 5%. And it's like Dash.io, Kasai, Florian, Kano, Prism, Jarl, which was actually pretty surprising. Jarl's up there at 4%. And then Dorinthia, Mario, Victor, and then other heroes. Which apparently in other heroes, what was it? There was someone was saying something about in the other heroes section. I think there's a Max. I think that's what it was. There's a Max.
Yeah. There's a Valda, which I can't find the Valda list, but I haven't looked too deep, but I can't find the Valda list. But there's a Max, there's a Valda, there's a Betsy. In the other heroes. There's a Betsy.
A Betsy?
See, this is why it's so sad when they like took out the other heroes, and there's heroes like this
That's so
Yeah.
sad.
Give me a second. Let me see if I can pull up the
Oh wait,
LO.
there's a 1% Fang that was just hiding there too. That's funny.
That's like 2 wins.
Yeah. But long story
Uh,
short, to give an overall of the CC meta, Verdance and Syndra kind of dominating, kind of taking it down.
they're really dominating. Syndra surprises me that she's dominating so much, but it might just be like my Guardian veins looking at Syndra and being like, how is she that good? But
She's
then
strong.
Verdance scares me, and Verdance makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Verdance makes a lot of sense. Syndra makes a lot of sense. The fact that they're so far ahead of the rest is surprising. I would think that um, they wouldn't be that dominant, but I guess they are.
So it's Valda, Puffin, Marlin, KO, Underhanded Cheat, and Betsy. Those are the heroes that won, and Huntsman. There we go. Sorry.
Okay.
Those are the heroes that were not on there, and they were the other, well, and Max. And maybe Riptide if he wasn't on there.
Cool.
And maybe Ira. There's like a lot of heroes it could have been.
Yeah.
I like looking through it.
But anyway.
Yeah, Ira, Riptide. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool to see that pie chart. Anything on the meta before we go into some of the fun things happening upcoming this week?
The only thing is Verdance is so strong. She's so hard to beat.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what's funny is that was why, like, when you were like, oh, Verdance is top of B tier, I was like, is she?
So I thought that her entire game plan was combo game plan, and she lost a piece of combo. And then she got a piece that made her tempo game plan the best tempo game plan in the game. And now she is, I would say, probably best deck in format. If this ProQuest hasn't proved it, like she's just really, really strong. So
Yeah.
next time we do like a tier list, I promise I will do better.
We're not gonna do better. It's gonna be so inaccurate.
Is like third place. Like we weren't that far off, you know.
Honestly, yeah, KO. We weren't like at first. If we looked at just the first week's results, we were like so wrong about KO. But now looking like KO is now third most represented. Obviously, it's still not like S tier level, but
yeah,
it's up there. It's still good. Gravy's still hanging out
A
up there. Yeah, exactly. Still A tier. Gravy's still hanging out up there. I think that it's just like the Syndras are taking him down, although he still has a good Verdance matchup, like a very good Verdance matchup. So I think it's just like there's a lot of hate for Gravy out there. I know like Luke switched off of Gravy for that reason. He was just getting destroyed by Syndras.
Yeah, I know. Right. On Saturday there was only 2 Gravies, and there was I think every deck had hate for Gravy in it.
Yep. Yeah, every deck has hate for Gravy. I mean, yeah, like think about like my top 8. It was a Syndra, 2 Slippies, a Leviah, which I think Leviah is probably pretty good against it. Which I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Mo said he was fine into Gravy. A Slippy.
I mean, you just deal more damage than KO, and it's like I don't think you mind the allies because you're just gonna kill Gravy.
You should attack
faster than Gravy can summon allies. Yeah.
And then Marlin, which is actually pretty good. It's a pretty good matchup for Marlin too. They just go over the top and you can't block them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense to me. Meta seems. I think we need one more week of results for me to say it feels healthy. But there are a lot of options. I think the meta is pretty good personally.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there are 2 decks that are over the balanced meta. Like, it feels pretty balanced outside of, I don't know, it might be just me playing into Verdance and like feels like I'm smashing my head into a wall. Like, come on, what's the solution? I'm like this close every time.
But like that's the thing too, is like I think people are gonna start really figuring out how to beat Verdance with their decks.
Yeah.
Or at least make the matchup a lot closer. I think the Verdance right now has that factor of people aren't quite sure the right way to attack it, and they're figuring that out. Is my theory. And so I think next week we're gonna see the pie chart be a lot more evenly distributed. I think people are gonna respond to this. They're gonna start like look at Dio for example. Look at the top 5 decks here. Those are all favorable matchups for Dio. Right? You're good into Verdance, you're good into Syndra, you're good into KO, you're good into Gravy, you're good into Acilio. Like, I don't know. Like Dio should be a much larger percentage of this pie chart, if you ask me.
Yeah, but I want to say like Dio looks like she should be really good, and then you look at the other half of the pie chart. It's like Florian, Yarrow, Victor, and then like if they know how to play like into Dio and are respecting Dio, I'm sure like all of a sudden the fatigue gets a lot heavier.
But I mean, it's like that's the thing though, is like Florian is such a small percentage of the pie chart and is at least locally hasn't been really in the meta too much. And it's because you lose
a single Florian at the event I went to.
Yeah. Well, there was one at the one I went. Yeah, there's that was what was funny is that I looked at the meta or the hero breakdown for your PQ and I saw 0 Florian. I was like, I'm winning this Sunday PQ. And there was like one, I think it was like one Florian at mine. And there was like 1 or 2 Huntsmen, which I think Huntsman isn't even that bad of a matchup, honestly. I think you're perfectly fine in a Huntsman, surprisingly. You would think it's a terrible matchup, but...
You'd think, but he just fatigues really slow. Like, he actively fatigues you, but he, like...
Well, it's one of those things...
They are so slow.
Well, I think Huntsman might be a he. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure they're a they.
Okay. Well, regardless, Huntsman is... not actually that good at fatiguing you, mostly because they just can't block all that well. Like their armor isn't a fridge. They one of the D reacts that they run costs 2 cards to play. It's a 3 cost D react for 4. So that's 1 less card in hand if they want to play it. And so you can your boom grenades will often just hit, especially if you max V them. And they're not very disruptive. Their only disruption is if their Hunter 100 hits your hand, which it won't often do, or if they throw a Leave No Witness, but you have so much armor to stop that, and they don't have any way to pump it. So yeah, it's just like I guess they do.
I wonder if it's correct for Huntsmen to take out their hunter or hunted into the Dio matchup because you get like you don't need the extra banish.
The funny thing,
like having
and the funny thing too is that if they play it and you have an item on top, they're forced to bottom it and then name something else, which is so funny. And just like it's a random name, because the thing is the whole point is that you see the top of their deck and then name that card, but they have to bottom it because if they leave it on top, then you just play it.
You can just play it.
Yeah. So it's super funny. And there's actually I was talking to someone who brought Huntsman to the PQ, and we were discussing that before the tournament started, and he was like, yeah, there's a window between the Arachne trigger, the Huntsman trigger, and the D-React banish. So they look at the top of the card and decide to leave it on top or bottom, and then there's a window, and then the D-React happens, and so you have a window there to play the item every time. So they have to just bottom it every time and then random name. So it's probably just a cut, but it feels so bad to cut a card that's meant to fatigue a deck that you run to super fatigue and aggressive.
Yeah,
fatigue.
But normally when you go into Dio, like you can play regular fatigue and you're a lot better off than like, oh, I'm going super fatigue. It's weird because you're approaching it very differently than I think Arachne normally wants to approach the fatigue matchup.
I agree. It's mostly that they just can't actually block all that well, and so you can, and they aren't being disruptive enough. But that is actually not that bad. But anywho, Dio feeling pretty good. I would say player for your PQs if you have CC PQs coming up. I think she's a solid pick. But anywho,
if there are no verdants in your area, Vault is pretty good.
or that. Yeah, if you have no verdances, Vault is pretty good too. I mean, what do you feel like you beat everything up here? Except for Verdance?
Syndra, your field favor into KO is really easy once you figure it out. Gravy's pretty good. Acilio, I want to say it's probably 50-50. Dio, you're good into. Kasai, you're super favored into. Florian, if you know how to play the Florian matchup, is easy. But apparently a lot of Aldous don't. But I think it's easy. No, that's not true. I have lost to a couple Florian. Yeah. But I played like 10, 15 games, and I've lost to like 2 Florian. Kano is probably scary. I have not actually played Kano, but you're running AB3.
Surely
you're more
that's good
aggressive
enough.
than more guardians, but yeah, probably not good. Prism is buy in the aspect of you're gonna get that win. You better just like it is really good for
It's
you.
really bad for Prism.
Jarl, I think, is probably gonna be a 50-50. I've been beating them more recently, but especially when you're just learning the deck.
Yeah.
Dory, I've been pretty good in a Dory, even with little defense reactions.
Yeah. Yeah, so pretty good pick.
So it's like you're feeling pretty good, except into like Verdance, and unfortunately, she is like best deck in format and most represented here. So that's the rough part.
Yeah. If you have 0 Verdants, feel free to ring her, but otherwise,
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like there might be a strategy to beat Verdants anyway. So there's that.
Yeah, I'm figuring it out. I promise. I'm working on it. I'm
next deck tech we'll have
trying to save the people.
That'd actually be fun. That should be pretty cool. Is if you figure it out to release a strategy into Verdance guide after. That'd be kind of cool. But anyway, we'll move on from the meta and into some fun stuff happening soon. Which first I'll start with, we got a sneak peek from the man himself, James White, a Dromai sneak peek that said 2027 on it, which is pretty cool. I need to remind myself the name of the Dromai card. Hold on.
It was like Mother of Dragons or something. I think a lot of it is in work.
Yeah. Oh man, why can't I find James White on Blue Sky? It was a tweet.
I don't think James White's on Blue Sky. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a tweet that I've never actually seen James White on Blue Sky, at least.
I had this up already. I kind of just forgot. Here it is. Yeah, so he goes, something I've been working on recently takes flight in 2027. And he says arts and names developmental only. Funny thing about that part about the art, there's been a bit of a backlash on this post.
There's a big backlash on it.
So Dromai, Mother of Dragons is the working title. The art looks a little suspicious. It is almost certainly AI art, and yeah, it is placeholder art. But it's just it's a weird thing to post that, like to post placeholder AI art. Like I would have just cut that out. Like I don't know. It just seems like not a smart move to post AI art on your tweet.
What's a little odd for me is they have Dromai art already. They could just
well, that's the thing too. Is that you look at Storm. It's actually called Cinders of Sandakai version 5 is what it's called. Right next to the Dromai, and it's just using the old Sandakai art, Storm of Sandakai art.
Yeah,
which they could have just done for Dromai. Like they could have just had old Dromai there. Which I mean, sure, it might be slightly confusing, but then it would be slightly confusing for Cinders of Sandakai too. So I don't know. It seems odd to use the Sandakai picture for the weapon and not just use the OG Dromai picture for Dromai, the new Dromai. I don't know. Very interesting decision from James White is what I'll put out there. But we basically got a little spoiler for Dromai for 2027. It's funny that Cinders of Sandakai has a version 5 already. He's certainly been struggling making the weapon work. We have a snippet of text.
Making it balanced.
Yeah, making it balanced. We have a very small snippet of text that's included in the screen cap, and it says, "Blank allies you control get action." And that's it. That's all we have.
We can probably assume it says dragon allies you control get action, attack, something.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's action, and then there's a little dash. I don't know if the cost would go after that, if this is intending for it to be a free action or what. But you can also tell, unless there's a huge gap between the next line of text, that is a very short snippet of text after action. It's probably just action, attack, pay 1 attack or something. Maybe no go again is what it's going to be. But anyway, long story short, I don't want to speculate too much because this is version 5 and we're going to get to version 10 before the weapon comes out. So
yeah, and things are going to change.
Yeah, things are going to change for sure. Also, someone pointed out to me at the PQ that we see up here, it says Draconic Illusionist 25. So there's 25 Draconic Illusionist cards here in this list, which is interesting. Also, we have a name at the top that says Lotus Deck. I assume is what it's saying. It's DE. Lotus Deck is my assumption. This could mean an Armory deck. That's what I'm speculating.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's probably going to be an Armory deck Origins, kind of like Ira and Jarl, because it doesn't sound like we're going back to full core for a while.
Yeah, which I mean, for 2027, you definitely could go back to full core. Like it's going to be.
You could.
It would be 2 years from Hunted. What is Hunted full core? It's not, is it? The set Hunted.
Yeah, it's full core.
It is full core. Okay. Well, regardless, I mean that'd be 2 years from Hunted, so it wouldn't be the end of the world to go back to full core. But my theory is an Armory deck. We can see that there's 25 Draconic Illusionist cards. The next one says Draconic. We don't know how many. I assume it's just going to be like, like a typical Armory deck where you have cards for specifically that hero, but you also have, you'll have Draconic and Illusionist cards in there as well.
And that's where you get the Majestic Sands for the Legendary Dragons.
Yeah, they'll be reprinted in there for sure.
No, please no.
It's interesting though, because like you can start theorizing how would the new Drumai work, and everyone wants to think that okay, we're gonna use the dusts, right? Like you'll have to use we're gonna use the dust. That's gonna be a key part. But I'm struggling to find any way to make the dusts work in a way that just doesn't make the hero absolutely dog water. Like it's. There's theories that you get to tutor the dusts, but then you're running all these worthless dusts in your deck, or
then you're playing Prism, the second one.
Yeah,
and
then you're just playing
Dromai,
Prism. And that's not that interesting. Which I agree. That's the thing. It's like it's not that interesting just to copy Prism's text.
But Prism is the most balanced illusionist, not in the eyes of LSS, but
it's not even that much of an. It's just an aggro deck. It's not even like an illusionist deck is the thing. But
yeah.
Anyway, I digress. My theory is that the dusts are not going to be an integral part of Dromai. I think that you might not make Ash nearly as freely, and that you're gonna have to play the Ash generation cards in order to get your Ash. My theory is that whatever they do, they're gonna make it so that Rake isn't good. Whether it's your dragons don't get go again naturally. Yeah. Or you have to pay one to swing your dragons. I think that regardless of what they do, they're going to make sure Rake the Embers is not an ideal card to be running.
I could definitely see that happening.
But yeah, I think anyway, I don't want to go too much in detail because we don't really know much. But cool that we're getting confirmation that Dromai is coming back in 2027.
I think it's very funny because I've been telling people, I'm like, isn't it so cool Dromai's coming back? And so many people look at me and like, aren't you a Guardian player? Like, don't you hate Illusionists? Like, what is this? I'm betrayed my class. But I actually like Dromai.
Yeah.
She's like the one Illusionist that I'm okay with. Yeah. The other Illusionist, on the other hand, well, the new Prism's fine too. So
Prism's fine because you get to beat it. That's why you're okay with it.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'll move on from that. We got a dev touch called it wasn't called Snyder Cut, but I feel like it should have just been called Snyder Cut. The dev touch was called Provoke, and it was revolving around a hero that was intended to come out in heavy hitters, but basically, long story short, the hero would have been Snyder Snarky Prick, 4 intellect, 40 health, would have had once per turn action, pay 1. Your next attack this turn gets Provoke. Go again. And in parentheses, it says Provoke is when this hits a hero, if it isn't defended by an attack action card, they discard a card. So basically, you turn your next attack into, you either block with an attack action card or you have to discard a card. So effectively giving an on-hit to your next attack. And they basically said, and I agree with this, which is that it funnels the hero into a fatigue game plan. Every time they worked with the deck, they tried to make a deck that functioned. It always made more sense to make a fatigue deck and just to force your opponent to block and that would be it. And that's not what they wanted. They kept trying to modify this hero text to make it work, and instead they decided to pull the plug and not make Snyder. And instead they made this provoke card, which has a very similar effect, where it's 1 cost. They show you an attack action card if and it goes in the combat chain. Otherwise, it's discarded. I said this in our local Discord. I think it would have been super interesting, and they didn't really explore. I guess they didn't really explore this aspect until a little bit later with Unsheathed, but I feel like they could have easily made it. Your next weapon attack gets this effect if its power is more than double its base. I think that would have been kind of interesting. But I think it would have been pretty balanced too, because then you aren't running it with Decimator, you aren't running it with, like you have to do front pumps on it, and you have to do large front pumps on it. And then it's like, it's probably fine. It's just like, oh, I have an extra resource, I may as well do this thing. I'm gonna like hold cards and be aggressive, and also take a card from my opponent's hand at the same time. So, but anyway, that's just like my little snippet of. I thought it was really interesting that they showed us this hero that, that they ended up not finding a way to balance.
Mentioned a lot too.
What was that?
I know he's been mentioned. I say a lot. I know when heavy hitters came out, they were talking about Snyder. They're like, oh yeah, Olympia used to be a different warrior.
Yeah.
And then we had to work things around to make it work.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense of like, apparently this was pretty late into the development of heavy hitters that they had to make this cut. And then that's when Olympia came in. And that makes a lot of sense why Olympia is so undercooked. Undercooked, yes. That's the right way to put it. Yeah. So pretty cool dev article. Highly recommend reading it. There was some people were saying this, that they hate it. They wish they hadn't read it, but I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I haven't actually read through all of it. I have read through a little bit of it. Like I did see the beginning with like Snyder, but I didn't read past the like disruption and the psychology of loss. I have not read through that.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think I'm much happier they give us Olympia than to release an overpowered or annoying to play against Snyder. So glad they did what they did.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that they fix Snyder for the future and have a way to release him. I think it'd be kind of a cool warrior hero.
Yeah, it would.
But yep. So and then we have a 6th year birthday stream happening for Flesh and Blood. So the Flesh and Blood hit 6 years. I think it was maybe like a week or two ago, and we got an announcement that there's going to be a stream. It is going to be in the Mountain Time Zone. It's going to be 5 p.m. on Sunday, so 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And during the stream, they're going to give away a handful of marvels. They're going to give away the new Pleiades marvel, the Maui marvel. They're going to give away and then they're going to give away all the young heroes as well. Young Pleiades, young Lyeth, young Toughnut, young KO. And then during the stream, they're going to talk about Silver Age. So they're going to give us the rules, the updates on that, and like the rules. And they have a list of things here. Key announcements, dev talk with James and Brian, games and commentary featuring 2 new devs. So that's pretty cool. Rejected marketing memes. I'm really excited to see what those are.
Did you see the ones last year?
I don't think so.
When it was like in between the games, you saw them. They were pretty funny. But it's like when they're like in between segments or in between games, they were just displaying those like marketing memes, and they were pretty funny. Yeah. So I'm really excited for that.
I might have seen them and just have forgotten them. But I'll have to go back and look. And then they have Armory deck gameplay here. I assume that's either with Slippy
Reinar?
or Reinar or both. It could be both.
Oh, that would be sick. That would be really cool. But
and then they say golf as the last bullet. I don't know what that means. Are they just gonna like follow around James White on the golf course and just watch him take swings? I don't know what that means, but I guess we're gonna get some golf on the 6th anniversary stream. So if you're looking forward to that,
what does this stand for?
Yeah. What if it's not actual golf and it's like it's actually a super spicy?
It's like an acronym.
Yeah, it's like an acronym. Like, yeah.
Global Onslaught.
Legendary fights. I don't know.
Yeah. it's the announcement. I was talking to someone the other night. I'm like, it would be sick if they announced like PVE with the third Monarch set because they awaken all the old ones, all that crazy stuff. It's an acronym for some version of PVE. That's my idea.
I do find
Surely we're not just gonna watch them play golf.
That'd be super funny. Just like
That'd be pretty funny.
I do find it interesting that they have games and commentary as one of the bullet points. I wonder what that means. I wonder if they're just gonna like play a CC game against each other, a Living Legend game against each other. If that's part of the Armory Deck gameplay, but it seems it's like a separate bullet, so I would be kind of surprised.
I know last year they did like games and commentary, and it's just where they have a couple devs talking about the people playing the games, like as if they're playing in an event.
Was it like a previous stream, like a call-in or something, or
it was the 5-year stream?
No, but like the game that they were commentating on.
No. It was they went down and they played the Commoner dumpster dive decks.
Oh.
And they were commentating that. So I imagine I can imagine they can bring some LA.
It's gonna be Silver Age, is what it's gonna
be.
That
would be cool.
That would be really cool.
That would be super sick. Oh yeah, you've got me.
So, yeah,
they don't do it.
So they're gonna announce Silver Age rules, and they're gonna have a game and commentary of Silver Age game. I'm excited for that. Now I want to watch this. So you see what they have cooked already for Silver Age. But anyway, that's happening this Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. And then last thing I have here before we leave you guys is I wanted to bring up the Living Legend leaderboard and where it's at right now. Right now, top of the leaderboard is Kano, thank God, at 930 points.
Thank God. Please win on Kano, please.
Please leave. 930 points, which means he needs 70 points at 2x. At 2x points, he needs. Let's go back here. Where is it?
I think
for ProQuest
4 points per win.
Oh right, it's points. There's a points per season thing, so it gets kind of funky.
I think it's 3.5 to 4, something weird like that.
I'm gonna assume it's 3 points per win, just like to be on the safe side.
Okay.
And so if it's 70 points left, and 3 points per win means 6 points per win for Kano, then he needs 12 wins.
Well, I think it's 2 points. Is it? It's so hard with this new decimator system without going in super deep.
Yeah, you don't know for sure. But yeah, probably. I guess we know roughly how many wins, but anyway. So probably 12 wins is my guess. Needs 12 wins to get there. It could happen. It's maybe unlikely to happen before Worlds. But we'll see. I know that I've seen some estimates that Kano will not LL before Worlds. So maybe I have my points wrong. Because 12 doesn't seem that high. I feel like 12 wins is pretty easy, but in the next 3 weeks. But I could be wrong.
I think it's somewhere around 24 if I have.
Okay, I might have doubled it.
So that's also just pulling out of the air.
Yeah. Oh wait, it's 1.5x. I'm dumb. It's not 2x points. It's 1.5x points. That's where I'm going wrong. So it would be 70 points. Let's say it's divided by 4. Yeah, so he needs more like 17 to 18 wins.
That sounds more correct, yeah.
A bit tougher to do. Okay, that's what it was. I was multiplying by 2 instead of 1.
And we've already lost so many of the good Kano players.
Exactly. So that's a big thing too. Is that the Kano players that have won can't win again. And Kano's a very specialized hero, right? Where people that play Kano typically have been playing Kano forever. So so once all the Kanos win their locals, they can't win again, and now it's only the people that either couldn't go to a PQ or didn't win their PQ the first 2 weeks. So the Kano numbers are going to keep going down, which is I think part of the big estimate of why Kano's going to stick around for Worlds. And then we have FaB at 805 with 0 points this season, so probably sticking around that number. We have Florian at 784 points, and probably not going to LL.
No.
Not doing too hot anymore with current meta. We have OGKO at 779 points. Also not doing all that well. Probably not going to LL before Worlds. We have OG Bravo at 769, but 0 points. Not going anywhere.
I don't think he's gotten any points in 10 seasons. It's been bad.
We have Prism at 730 points. also not going away anytime soon. And then I don't have another screenshot in our notes, but the most points this season is by Verdance. Got 239 points this season, and is at 500 points total. So not definitely like not gonna be gone by Worlds, but Worlds could potentially LL Verdance. There's a chance.
That I think Verdance is a super cool hero, and a lot of the Verdance players I've been talking to are like, ban Verdance, please. I don't want to lose her yet.
Yeah, like give her another ban, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, just want to go over that as the last thing. Any final thoughts before we head off?
I think I am all good.
All right. Well, I'll leave you guys with a question. What question should we ask? I think we already asked about Sage decks last week. So I was gonna do that one, but I was like, that actually doesn't work. Ooh, what do you think the golf is gonna be for the stream? Do you think
What
it's gonna be
golf?
What is golf? Is it just golf? If it is just golf, then how do you think it's gonna work? Like, are they just gonna follow around James White as he takes swings, or is it gonna be like, I don't know, something else? Let us know in the comments below, whether on YouTube or Spotify. Please give us a like and a subscribe. It helps us out, makes us feel all warm and fuzzy. And with that, I'm Cody.
And I'm Jacob.
And thanks for watching and listening.